I'm out here in the rain, talking about one of the great stories in the Bible, which was when the disciples found themselves in the midst of a storm. Now this is just light rain. It's no, tornado, no, epic tsunami or anything like that. But the disciples were with Jesus in the boat, and they were crossing the sea, and a great storm came upon them. And they started to panic. Jesus was sleeping in the boat, and they began to panic. The rain, the wind, the waves, everything around them, all the evidence they saw told them they should be afraid. And so they woke Jesus up. They woke him up and said, Lord, don't you care that we're about to die? And Jesus said, oh, you have little faith. And he rebuked the wind and waves, and the storm stopped. And at that point, even the disciples had to ask themselves the question, who is this man that even the wind and the waves obey him? They had followed him everywhere, and yet they still didn't have a clear picture that this was God's chosen son, sent to redeem the world of their sins. And the thing that we really learn from that story is, in the midst of the storm, Jesus is still with us. Even if we don't see him in action, even if we don't see him intervening, he's still there with us. He hasn't abandoned us. He hasn't left us. There's a funny story about a man in a flood, and he's up to his waist, and a boat comes by, and he said, he prayed to God that God would rescue him. And a boat comes by, and people say, get into the boat, let us save you. And he said, no, I'm waiting for God to rescue me. And then the water gets up to his neck, and another boat comes by, and he said, I'm waiting for the Lord to rescue me. And then the water is up to his head, and he's almost about to drown, and another boat comes by, and they said, jump in the boat, let us save you. He said, no, I pray that God's going to save me. And the man dies, and he goes to heaven. And he says, God, why didn't you rescue me? And he says, I sent 3 boats for you. And so don't be afraid if you find yourself in this place as I am. Maybe it's depression. You find yourself alone. You find yourself feeling maybe forsaken. God is still there with you. Jesus is with you even in the midst of your storm. Look for those ways that he is sending relief for you. Maybe a friend, maybe some other avenue where he wants to show you and express that he is there for you. And I hope that word encourages you today.